All right. Sorry, we're a little bit late with the video. Um, Here we go. Let's start with A. Let's start with how to compare different amounts. And I don't just say fractions because here's fractions, and then we have decimals, and then we have whole numbers. So let's check it out. Whenever you're comparing fractions, you want to make sure that they're written up and down like this. And the fractions are difficult because they're different sizes, right? Sevenths are smaller pieces. Fifths are bigger pieces. Why? Because it only takes 5 pieces to make a whole. This one takes 7, but you have more pieces. So what's worth more? More small pieces or less big pieces? It gets confusing. Luckily, there's a shortcut. There's this trick. You can multiply a bottom and a top and put that number by the top. 7 times 2 is 14. And then you just look at those two numbers and they will tell you which one's bigger. So that tells us that 3/7 is actually a larger fraction. And then decimals is a different ballgame. Before the decimal tells you how many wholes there are. If one whole number is bigger than the other, it's the winner. But when they're tied, you go to the next place value. This is tenths. This is tenths. 7/10 is a smaller number, therefore this side's bigger. A lot of people want to say, no, it's 799. But 8/10 is the same thing as 8/10. 799, yeah, it's a lot, but that whole is broken into 1,000 pieces. Watch what happens when we take 8/10 and turn it into 1,000. It's 800 thousandths. That shows you a little clearer that 0.8 is bigger than 0.799. Another way you could look at it is 0.8 is the same thing as 0.80, 0.800, and then comparing 0.800 and 0.799. It's a lot clearer to see that 800 thousandths is bigger. And then remember what I said. Look at the whole number. This whole number is 5. Well, this is actually just a whole number. And it too is 5. And 5 is the same thing as 5. But Mr. Stahl, this one's 5.0. Yes, this one has 0/10ths too. It also has 0 thousandths and 0 10 thousandths and 0, right? Or 0 hundredths, 0 thousandths, 0 10 thousandths. All right, let's go over and find the difference. Remember, that's just a fancy way of saying, what's the answer to the subtraction problem? So we have 60 and a fourth. We have 42 and a third. We could subtract. Are we allowed to subtract with different names? Negative. You're not. You got to give them the same name. Well, 4 and 3 are only one away. There's a trick. When they're only one away, you have to multiply them together to find the first name they can both turn into. 4 times 3 is 12. So that turns into 12. That turns into 12. How many 4s make 12? 3. So 1/4 is equal to 3/12. How many 3s make 12? 4. 1/3 is equal to 4/12. Now we're kind of done with these. If I have 3, I lose 4. That's illegal. So we have to go to the 60 and say, what up, 60? I need one of you. A lot of people want to put a 1 in front of the 3 and say, okay, now we have 13. Don't do that. That hole's not worth 10/12. That hole's worth 12/12. So you actually are giving 3 12 more, so it's 15. And 15 minus 4 is 11. It's 11/12. 9 minus 2 is 7. 5 minus 4 is 1. Answer is 17 and 11/12. Now what we're going to do is we are going to connect the names of the answer to the operation. Sum plus difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. Product is the answer to multiplication, and quotient is the answer to a division problem. Remember here you want to cut it so it's 2 normal quadrilaterals. 6 by 6 is 36. So the area, which is flat, the area is 36 meters squared. And then Gary has to be worth 5. How do I know Gary is worth 5? Because this whole thing's 11. If this is 6, 6 plus 5 equals 11, so that has to be 5. And 5 by 4 is 20. And if this side's 20 and this side's 36, the whole thing has an area of 56 meters squared. And then those were your challenge questions. I hope you guys kind of are getting closer to Indubitably and a little bit further away from Patrick, right? Now what I'd like for you to do is label your paper A through E, or I'm sorry, not E, A through H, and then complete these problems. I'm going to make a homework sheet today for real. Yesterday I told you I was going to, and I never did. And then what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to complete that after we're done with our live. Come prepared to ask me questions. So I gave you guys a PDF of this exact file. It should look familiar because you guys have worked on problems very, very similar to it already. So I will see you at 10:30 and come prepared to ask me questions. Bye, guys.